How many assholes we got on this ship anyhow?
Yo!
I knew it. I'm surrounded by assholes.
Keep firing, assholes!
Hey, Longfellow. Remember when we showed everybody how that you could make this here kind of safe room or what have you? Well, there was some questions about it, and I decided that this isn't the only way to make a simple powered door. And some of that's been pointed out to me. Some of them I've used, other options I've used in the past. But I feel like this option has a very specific use that you would want to use it. So you would need to use this logic gate. And I wanted to also show some of the other ways that you could build power doors and maybe some of the pitfalls and things that you would, might have to deal with to work around it. Because as you can see, this room is kind of under the ground, which allowed me to sink this conduit here under the ground, so that way, the ground allowed me to sink it down. But there's sometimes when we're building we can't sink things, um, and other times we can. So what I have here is some different options of different things that scenarios that you might come into, and ways to work around it. So I'm going to go through all of those now and some of the ways to work around it, and we'll kind of go from there. So let's go ahead and get started. I do need my pillar for this though. So the first option, and I like the idea of using the conduits because it helps keep things neat. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to sink a conduit. Now let's do this. We were able to do this before. Let's do this so we're only using the shortest method for this one that we need to. Alright, so this conduit is going to be specifically for, alright, so this is going to be specifically for this switch. So this is going to apply power to that switch, and then let's use this one here to apply power to come out from the switch on the inside and apply power to, and we're just going to make these different links so that way they're easier for us to determine what we're using here. So this one's going to apply power from one switch to the other, and then we're going to have the one conduit to go from this switch back over to the door. So let's see how this works. So we're going to have our power coming in, and this is going to be our main switch. Okay, so first thing we need to do is go from this switch to this conduit, which will feed power to the inside, and then we can come up and feed power to this switch. Now with this switch on, with this switch on, we can see that we will have power on the inside for this inside switch. Alright, so this switch is now on. If we go from this switch down to this conduit, now we can pass power back under the door, and then we can take that power up to our door. Now let's go ahead and this is, this allows us to do this without any wire glitches or anything like that. We can still kind of keep things neat, and we can shorten this up if you really wanted to make things look even neater. Use a rug glitch and put something over the top of them, like a box or a crate or something to help hide what it is. But anyway, so we now have power coming in here. So if we flip this switch, the door shuts. If we open this, we come in here, we do what we need to. Maybe we want our privacy, so we close the door. We can close this door. So this is basic, the basic things for a three-way switch. There's a pitfall with this though, and that is, let's say, I'll go through the pitfalls later, Longfellow, but this is a very simple, easy way, and I've seen other people do this. My friend Fritz B, this is basically what he did. Only difference is that he used two doors instead of one, and then he just had the one door running, or one switch for each door. So you go through, open up this door, the other door would already be open, you walk through, and then you close the inside door with a different switch. So each switch only controls the one door. The thought being that you leave the inside door open until you get inside. So, and which works and everything like that, but um, this is uses a single door. Could be considered neater or whatever, but to each their own. However they want to build it. But using a single door, this method will work really well, and you can hide all of your wires and all that kind of stuff using your conduits. Now, as you can see, we were able to sink these in here. This foundation allows us to sink. However, there's many foundations and floors that don't allow us to sink. So you can see I cannot sink this pillar in here on any of these floors. So we need a way to work around that. So what we're going to do is we're going to essentially set up the same thing, but what we're going to do is we're going to use these pass-throughs. Okay, so what we do is you just are going to put this through the wall. And I didn't test this ahead of time, but we're going to go with the thought that this will work. So we're going to pass this one through the wall as well. Alright, so what we need to do, because this wants to be a pain, is we need to put some conduit ends on here, which is fine. We're going to have to do that anyway. So we need one pointing down. So let's put that end on there so we don't snap to it. So when you find yourself things snapping to things, you can just do something like this. And I'm just going to put that down there. Not that I need it, but we're going to put that down there just so this does not snap to it. So now we don't snap to that, so that's fine. And then we just pass this through like that. Alright, so then we need our next wire here. Okay, so now we can get power through the walls into here. Okay, so we're going to have our power coming in. Okay, so we take our power over to this one. So that's on the inside one. And then we take this power, comes down to our switch. We can see our switch is now powered up. Both switches are powered up. This one is controlling the power to the inside one, which works fine. And now we're going to go from that switch to this one. Okay, and then we need to come from the outside one to our door. Okay, so this is going to require a wire glitch. Or we can, let's see if we can do this just using one of these regular conduit pieces, and we'll kind of put that at an angle there. We can go here, and we can go there. There we go. So we're able to work around it. Now, if we had a floor out here, geez, Longfellow, if you don't know when you had a bath last, you might want to take care of that, because that's pretty nasty, buddy. Alright, so let's stick a floor there. So if we had a floor there, we could have actually turned these around, and that would have actually made things a little bit more simple. And maybe we'll do that on the next one, the next example that I have. Okay, so here we go. And then with this, we can put this there. Alright, so now we've worked around this. We don't have to use any wire glitches, anything like that. We can control our entrance and our room, right? So we can control all this. That's pretty awesome. Works the same as this other one over there. Only difference is we use some different conduits to get in and out of the room. Okay, so our next example, we are going to use the same method, but what we're also going to do is we are going to use a delayed off switch. So what that's going to do is that's going to make it so whenever we open this door, it's going to put a delay on it, and the door will close automatically for us. Okay, so that can be advantageous, right? So, and I haven't tested this yet, so hopefully it all works out smoothly. But let's go ahead and set the delay on our switch. So we're gonna do our delay switch control, and we'll do 5 seconds. That gives us plenty of time to walk through the door, and the door will shut for us. All right. Okay, so here we go. All right, so here is um, our switches and everything. Okay, and here is let's knock this wall off here. And I'll just put this wall, or this floor, here. So that way I can walk around. This way I can we don't need that anymore. Now that that power is set, we don't need that. But now we can put this on here. And now we can see what this is going to look like. We can take these and just kind of allows you to be a tad bit more creative on how you're putting these through here. So let's do something like that. And let's do something like this. So I chose the 2 different heights just so it makes it a little bit easier to kind of push around and tell which one's which. Okay. And so let's go back to our conduit. Let's go around the corner. Alright, so here we go. So we have this little bad boy. Helps us get around the corner. Let's go with the smaller one. Alright, so come on. There we go. So we're going to go around the corner with this one. Alright, so that should work there. Okay. And let's go ahead and put our down-facing end on it. And then I'm just going to set the other one over there while I'm in here. And then we are going to go with this one. Right? Alright. And then let's put our conduit junction on there. Okay. So now, now we're passed through the floor. Okay, so first we got to get power to our switch. Let's go to the inside one. Okay. So we are going to come from the inside one here. We're going to go power to this switch. So now both switches are powered. Now we go from this switch to our delayed off switch. From our delayed off switch back out through the wall. We're using our taller one now. Or no, we're using our shorter one. This is the farther away. And we're going to go from there to the door. Okay. So we've already... Come on. So we've already ran our switch here. So let's just see if this works. Okay, so it's off. Close the door. Alright, now when we come up to this, we just throw our switch. And the door opens. Alright, and then it closes automatically. Run our switch again. And we can go about our business. The door shuts automatically. We don't have to throw the switch. Only difference being is you have to cycle the switch again to make it open. You come in, do your business. It'll close automatically for you. And there you go. So that can be rather advantageous because, you know, you may not want to have to close your doors. Okay, so now we can get rid of that. We don't need that. So there we go. We have essentially 3 different types that are just going to be simple single powered doors using conduits to get our power inside. And this is for like a safe room or something like that. And where you are completely controlling the entrance and exit of a single room. That's where you'd want to use these options. Excuse me, Longfellow. I had to take a swig of whiskey or something. Mouth was getting dry. Okay, so we've seen all of our different options here, and they all work really well, and all is well. Now, so you might say, all right, so that's for a safe room. That works. That's what we want the safe room to be. Now, this option also works for a safe room, But this option that we used with when we used our logic gate, our XOR logic gate, this option has another very specific use that we'd want to use, and let's go have a look at that. Okay, buddy? All right, we're going to the castle. All right, Longfellow, here we are. We are at the castle. So at the castle, we have two entrances. We have this entrance here. This is the main entrance, or in reality, it's the only entrance for the castle, but we wanted to have a second one, and I think a lot of people like that idea. So we have this main entrance. People need to be able to come and go into the castle. We're not necessarily controlling the entrance, except for with guards and that kind of thing. But so you need to be able to come into the castle, and but we have a reason to need to be able to leave the castle. And speaking of leaving, somebody left without closing the door. So we can close this door. So if we send out a patrol from the castle, we want them to use this door, not the main entrance. Maybe they need to leave at night. We don't want people to know that they're leaving. They can go through this door and exit. When they leave, they need to be able to shut the door. Now the door is shut. They go about, they do their business. They come back, and they need to be able to get back in. They come back in. All of that works just the same way. So we close the door, they go about their business. Let's say they leave, they close the door, they're out and about, and we need to also leave. So let's run around to the other side of the castle again. So they've left, they've closed the door, and they need, maybe they called in some help. They needed, you know, some additional support, some reinforcements, as it were. So we need to be able to send somebody out to them to help them out with that. And so we need to be able to get people back out. Now, granted, you could come out this other gate, but let's say there are only a handful of blocks the other direction, and time is short. And so we need to get people out there as quickly as we can to exactly where they are. So with this method, we can come here, open this door, and still leave again. And we can still shut it again. Okay? And we can do this all day long. So this method works great for this type of a door where we need to be able to go in and out regardless of which direction we approach the door, no matter what position the switches are in. Okay? Does that make sense? So we have that in place. And, you know, so that makes sense. Let's go back and try this same experiment with one of our other doors that we just did. All right, let's go check that out. Okay, Longfellow, here we are. We're back. All right, so let's set these up. Let's say this is the castle. We'll go ahead and get rid of that wall, so that way we can simulate going in and out as we please. And we'll start with the door shut, and then we'll use this one down here because we can actually go in and out from this side. So let's remove this wall. We'll simulate this as the castle, and we'll shut the door. Okay, so now, thought is that squad has left. Okay, so here's the castle, the way it is now. Squad decides they need to leave. Come, open the door, they walk out, they shut the door. And they go about their business, and then they can come back and go in and out, right? So now they can go in and out as they please. Let's say they leave. They go through the door, they close the door, they go about their business, and then they call in support. Okay, so they last shut that switch off. We decide to send more people out. We can come over to this switch, open the door, and we can leave through the exact same door. Okay, and likewise this can be closed. We can do this multiple times over and over again. Okay, doesn't matter how we did that. Now let's try this same action using this door. Okay, squad comes out. They leave. Alright, there they go. Off they go. They go do their thing. And they need to get support. Hey, look. There's a moot fruit. Don't want to leave that. So they call in support. Okay, so they're out over here. We decide, okay, let's go support them. We flip the switch. We can't get out this door. Doesn't matter what we do to this switch. The only way to open this door is from this side, right? This switch has to be on because it's powering the interior switch. So the only way to open this door again after they've gone through is to use it from this side. Now, that works great when you have a closed shell that you need to be able to get in and out of, such as this one. So this one, you come in and out, and you're in here, and you're like, okay, that's great. Now I'm ready to leave. No problem. You go right back through the same door that you were just at. But in situations like what we have at the castle, where people need to be able to go through the same door regardless of what the position of the switch is on the other side, we need to be able to do that. So that is why we might want to use a logic gate. So that way we can go in and out of the door regardless of what side it's on. Okay? So we can go through here and closed, right? So even if this one's off, we come through, you see this one's on, let's turn it off. So they're both off, we can still come over here, turn this on, and now the door opens. We turn them both on, the door closes. So now they're both on. What happens if we shut this one off? The door opens. We don't get that same ability with these other ones, and that's one of the reasons why you might want to use a logic gate in order to create a door, powered door that you can go in and out of. So I hope that this is going to be informative to everyone. So Longfellow, I need you to wrap this up, put it in a nice little package, send it over to Piper. She'll you know pretty it up and all that kind of stuff, and we can send it out to all of our people so they can start implementing these where it most applicably fits. All right. I hope that was clear enough. Thanks, did I call you Codsworth before? Thanks, Longfellow. I'm just used to running around with Codsworth. All right, let's get going, Longfellow. We got stuff to do. Okay.
Who you are working for? Blockbuster Video, Des Moines, Iowa. Who you are working for? Blockbuster Video, Des Moines, Iowa. Damn. They trained them so well.